Is it commercial? Am I on there? Oh. Hello. You just never know when you're actually on live on this. So, welcome to our live stream today. The subject is boondocking safe. So, before we get down into it, if you haven't done so already, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell icon so you'll get notified when there are new videos. And of course, give me a thumbs up, give us a like. That certainly helps us out. Before we get into things, I want to give a shout out to Blue Wave Odyssey. Thank you for your generous support in our previous live stream. That was really awesome. You have a great channel, and I enjoy watching your videos as well. All right, so let's check and see. One minute. All right. All right, there we go. Things locked up for a minute. Sorry about that. So today's subject being is boondocking safe. We have done a lot of boondocking ourselves in a lot of different places. In some places, it's been we've been pretty much alone. So when you boondock, a lot of times you're in very remote places and can be all alone. So, but when you're doing this, it's not just the weather that you have to worry about. Sometimes crimes happen, as you've seen in recent history. Just remember this: bad things can happen just about anywhere. I've never felt really unsafe. I think there's more crime committed in densely populated areas than where it's kind of sparse. But things can go terribly wrong, as we saw with those people on Padre Island. Now, we were at Padre Island National Seashore in the vicinity of where those people were found. We camped on the beach. I think it was about 8 days that we boondocked out there. And I really never gave a thought about someone doing something to us. We were more concerned about the weather and the tide coming up to the trailer and that. So it was kind of creepy at night sometimes, you know, especially when the water was coming right up to the trailer when we were parked on Padre Island. Most of the time there were other campers there, but there were a couple of nights where we were the only ones left on that stretch of beach. Like I said, that wasn't too far, so it's kind of distressing to hear about what happened with those people, the butlers, I believe. So we, like I said, never had a problem. We've been traveling for 2 years, but we have been in some places where it didn't feel quite right. I think you should probably follow your gut feelings. If it just doesn't seem right, then I would just pack up and leave. So that's always a good indication, your gut. When you come to a place, you might want to check the area for signs of partying, find like liquor bottles and trash strewn around. Then it's probably a party area. A lot of kids may go there and could create a problem. So I would just kind of move on. camp near other campers. I mean, if there's a group of campers, maybe you don't want to be too far away from them, just in case. You might introduce yourselves. This way you have somebody kind of watching the back. So, but what's been happening, like at Padre Island, I would go back and I would camp there again. We've camped in areas where we've seen there every once in a while a police officer go by, sheriff's department go by. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys' experiences are with boondocking, but it's me, my wife, and our dog. We go camping. I think people who travel by themselves are at more of a risk. Solo campers need to be more aware of their surroundings. Some ideas that I've seen from other people, that if you are a solo camper, you might want to make believe like there's another person with you. Set out a couple of pairs of shoes outside of the trailer so someone thinks there's more than one person there. That seems to be the common thing. Put stuff out like, if you don't have a dog, you could make believe like there is a dog, so someone might think twice about it. The hard-sided trailer, is it safer? I would say, yeah. You know, camping in a tent, there's nothing there to protect you. Pop-up trailer, same thing. It's nowhere near as safe as a hard-sided trailer. At least we are kind of, they would have to break in here if we were asleep at night. And that would make quite a bit of noise, I would think, and so would disturb us. I'd say if you travel and do a lot of boondocking, maybe you should consider traveling with a dog. I mean, ours is a miniature dachshund, so he's not a big attack dog, but if he hears something, he will bark. So he may hear a noise that I may not hear, and so that kind of makes you aware of a possible situation. So, I'm a strong believer that you should be able to defend yourself. So either a gun, knife, pepper spray, or a taser. Some people have recommended maybe like a bear spray, keep it on hand, keep it close by to where you sleep, by the bed. So if someone does break in, you can spray them with it. I've seen where people have also suggested maybe a wasp spray, keep that on hand. So you need to be able to defend yourself one way or the other. And we have ways of defending ourselves, so we travel prepared. So just observe local laws. Of course, if you're traveling into like Canada and that, you need to be aware of some of these things like a gun or tasers and that you may not be able to bring across the border. Another thing is maybe to keep a cell phone handy at all times. Make sure it's always charged and that it works in the area that you're considering to boondock. So you might want to keep your phone close by when you're trying to find a place to camp. See that your phone works so you can dial 911. It's one thing to be alone in the middle of nowhere, but if you got no way to call for help, that could be a problem. So, cell phone. Another little advice is let people know where you're going to be and on what dates you're going to be there, so that they know when to expect you and just to keep tabs on you. So there are intruders. There's other ways of trying to scare them off. Probably would be like keep your remote close to you for the car or truck and hit the honk, the panic button on it, just to maybe scare somebody away. So there's lots of things that you can do, and to try and discourage somebody from from bothering. So, like I said, we've been doing it for a couple of years now, and I've never had a problem. We've camped in places like a wildlife management area in Mexico, and not Mexico, New Mexico. We have stayed at Padre Island. Sometimes it was crowded, and then there were other nights where it wasn't. Middle of national forests, so we always kept an eye out. Always be aware of your surroundings and keep an eye on suspicious activity. So, do any of you have any kind of suggestions either? Nope. So, bottom line is there, like recently there's been some incidents, but there are so many people who are boondocking these days. The crime, I think, against RVers is actually pretty low. But just be aware of your surroundings. That would be the biggest tip that I could give you. Kathy, you got any ideas? I think I pretty much covered it all, really. So it's the solo campers that I'm really concerned about. Single women, they're doing this more and more, living out of vans and traveling the country. They're a little more susceptible to things going on. Another idea, keep those little air horns. So if someone does come, you can blast that just to draw attention. I don't know if that would really scare them off. Like I said, the things I would keep on hand is a gun, a taser, pepper spray, things of that nature. Guns certainly give you a lot more protection, and that should scare off anybody trying to break in your trailer. So you also got to be aware of it's not just necessarily at night. Somebody could approach you during the day. So just always be wary of what's going on around you. And so I've always avoided areas where there's evidence of partying going on. So we just move on to someplace else and go by our gut feelings. All right, so at this point, if there's anybody that has any kind of questions or any ideas themselves. Well, all right, well, I don't, absolutely no comment. Okay, hey, so this was just a little quick down and dirty video. Philip Morris. Oh, it's not showing up on here. Wonder why. Hi, Philip. How you doing? Hey, there's 5 people out there. So, does anybody have anything they would like to add to it? I don't understand why I'm not seeing anything up here. Oh, there he is. Hello from the Ozarks. Cool. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, Philip. I haven't seen you in a good long while. How's it going, man? We're hanging out in Florida ourselves, so it's pretty awesome. It's been pretty warm down here. So, you got any ideas there, Phil? How do you deal with boondocking when you guys are by yourselves? What do you do for protection? Oh, there we go. Oh, all of a sudden, a bunch of stuff just came up. An electric solar fence keeps the bears away. Yeah. Huh. A solar fence around my rig. So, electric solar fence. Okay, what does it do? Shock them? Hey, hey, Steve. Yes, we do too. It's, but you just got to watch if you ever leave the U.S. and go up into either Canada or Mexico that you have to store it somewhere because you can't travel across the border with it. And the same thing with you can't have any ammo in your vehicle either. If they search it, it's big trouble. But when we went to Canada, we ditched our guns and ammo at my brother-in-law's house before we went off into Canada. You can't even have a stray bullet kicking around the trailer either. But I mean, I feel safe when I travel around the U.S. So we're good. And like I said, we got Thomas. And then yeah, bear spray. Yeah, that's a good alternative. Oh, the fence they use for chickens. That's interesting. Where did you find that? Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I imagine a place like Tractor Supply or something like that would have that electric fence thing. Is it expensive? PetSmart? I don't know if PetSmart would have it. Yeah, well, there's another thing. I do not leave the trailer by itself. If we're boondocking somewhere, I do not leave the trailer by itself. We don't leave. When we get down to the point where we're going to need more food and stuff, it's time to move on. I don't want to stick around. Somebody could break in and steal stuff while you're gone. So, Tractors, Farm Supply. Yeah, okay. Tractor Supply, they're all over the country, and that's pretty awesome. You know, another thing that you can do that a lot of people do it because we have the truck and the trailer is when we boondock, we typically, most times, not all, but most times we leave the truck connected to the trailer. So if we feel insecure about a spot, we could just pull up the landing gear and go. $150 for a 100-foot and charger. Okay, oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Security cameras inside and out, linked to your phone. Oh, there's a good idea. I don't have that. On our other trailer, we had security lights. That's another good one. So if someone comes around the trailer at night, you know those battery operated ones that you can stick on the outside. Put that in a couple of spots around the trailer, and someone comes by, the light goes on, and that would alert you to somebody creeping around outside. So security cameras is good too. Real good idea. I like that. Colorado couple. So whereabouts in Colorado are you guys? We were originally from Colorado Springs ourselves. Two-legged critters away. Yeah, that would be like people. Oh, Amazon. Yeah, that would be good source too. Amazon doesn't necessarily have the cheapest prices on everything. You got to do a little research. Cool. Yeah, we have been in some very remote places. So I never really thought much about the safety aspect. I always considered weather more than a crime being committed against us. So we have emergency radio. So when we are boondocking in the middle of nowhere, that we have a way of knowing what weather hazards there are going to be. Simply Safe. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. That's a really good idea. Simply Safe. So you can see what's going on outside. So I imagine it has infrared. And the lights will keep the critters away, you bet. Oh, Firestone, Colorado. Okay, cool. So that's Firestone, northeast area, I think. So yeah, we're from the Springs ourselves, but now we are South Dakota residents. So motion sensors too. So the motion sensors do what? Turn on lights? Or just alert you to somebody being there? But Simply Safe. I thought about that. And with our Wi-Fi, we have our Wi-Fi with a jetpack with Verizon. I think you need internet connection. So as long as you got internet, that works, I guess. East of Longmont. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that would be northeast. So you enjoying the cold right now? Are you? Yeah, and I think that's a good thing. I got to get some more. They have new and improved ones now. I think they run about 15 or 20 bucks, but it's worth it. Just lights coming on to scare somebody off, hopefully. Like I said, I always considered the weather more than I considered somebody committing a crime against us. But things happen. I guess in Canada, there was also a couple who was killed up there traveling through Canada. So there's been a lot of scary stuff going on lately. So you got to be careful out there and make sure you know what's around you. Oh, cool. Motion sensor alerts your phone and lights it up too. Cool. Yeah, making your way to Florida for the winters. Cool. Whereabouts in Florida are you headed? We are hanging out in, well, right now, this is Wauchula, Florida, that we're hanging out in. And then we're going to be back over, well, Lutz for a couple of weeks through Thanksgiving after we leave here. That's all part of that 1,000 Trails deal that we're using. And we haven't spent any money on an RV park now. I figured out the savings, and just about 2,100 bucks over a couple months that we've been using it. So it's pretty awesome. That's the other thing too. If you don't feel secure boondocking, then perhaps RV camping or camping with in designated camping areas is the thing to do. What do you do when your weather calls for tornado? Yeah, well, we have run into that situation a few times, especially traveling through like Alabama and Mississippi. Of course, when a tornado hits nearby, and that's what happened in both those states, and they were just a couple of weeks apart. We traveled through one state and then the other. We were at actual campgrounds, and so there was a building to be able to take shelter in. So there were, of course, it had like cinder block walls and stuff, bathrooms, and so we would hide in there along with a bunch of other people. Get kind of crowded sometimes, but of course you got a wood roof, so I don't know how much protection that offers. Another time we were setting up actually at a wildlife management area in New Mexico. We were starting to set up the trailer, and then I said, let me check and see what the weather is going to be, because there were some mean clouds off in the distance, and there were tornado warnings. So we stopped setting up, and we figured, hey, we'll drive another 100 miles or so out of the area where there was going to be tornadoes. But yes, you do have to be aware, especially when, what time of year was that, Kathy, that we were, the tornadoes? October. Was it October through January, February?
No,
yeah,
November.
Right? November? Yeah, so you got to be aware. Oh, okay. All right, Colorado couple is going off to Orlando. Sounds like fun. It sounds like Disney World, doing the 1,000 Trails Encore Shuffle. Yes. So actually, that's what it is. Right now, we're at 1,000 Trails. That's Peace River. That's 1,000 Trails. We're just here for a week. It's raining now. Yeah. And then we're going to go back into an Encore resort. We were just 2 weeks at, what the hell's the name of that place? Barrington Hills, which is in Hudson, Florida. We stayed there for 2 weeks. You can only stay in the Encore resorts for 2 weeks. It doesn't matter what package you got. You can only stay in Encore for 2 weeks, and you can't go to another park, an Encore park. You have to be out for a week. So that's why we're back at Peace River, and then we can go into another Encore resort. And so we're going to go to the Winter's Quarters in Lutz, Florida. We're trying to stay in the Port Richey area, not too far, because we're visiting with family, and we're going to do Thanksgiving with family there. So we do go for safety in the storm. Like I said, you know, if we're boondocking in the middle of nowhere, not too much you can do about it. But if you're in a regular campground, the strongest structure, which is usually the bathrooms, is where you need to seek shelter. Grateful Glamper just posted a good video on camping safety. Wow, I'll have to check that out. Fort Worth, Texas, last month when I popped up, we hit in a concrete pipe. Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess under a bridge, you could take shelter there if you had to. We've been fortunate so far that there were tornadoes, but they weren't right on top of us, that they were off in the distance. So that is always a scary thought, though. So concrete pipe, that was good thinking. Last month too, huh? Wow, isn't that kind of early for tornadoes this season? No, guess not. Huh. It's always something, right? Boondocking is my favorite, and I haven't had any experience with two-legged beasts. Yeah, knock on wood. We haven't either. So someone tries to break in while we're in there. They're in for a surprise. Um, so I would never leave the trailer in the middle of the woods unattended, not for any length of time anyway. So, and then we try not to stay boondocking for too long in any given place. Especially since now that we got the 1,000 Trails thing, my gosh, we have been in nothing but RV parks for quite some time now. So you had bad experience in trailer parks? I've never had a problem, never. We try and stay out of the parks that are not so nice. That probably has something to do with it. We have used a lot of city parks, which have been good. And I've always felt pretty secure in those too. Texas, if you guys are in Texas, there's tons of city parks that are free, and so you don't even have to boondock. Got water and electric at those, usually in a free dump station in most. So we found Texas to be very hospitable towards RVers. But if we know there's going to be really bad weather with the possibility of tornadoes popping up or a hurricane, we will just leave the area and try and travel out of it. If we have to go 200 or 300 miles, we will. I've done that before. We were camping out. It was in New Mexico, and they were expecting really high winds and that. So we traveled east for 300 miles just to beat the bad weather. But as far as trailer parks up, I've never had a problem with them. And these 1,000 trail parks have been pretty good so far. We've gone through quite a few, both Encore and the 1,000 Trails, and so far they've all been good. Well, it's starting to rain here. Well, I guess that. You got any other ideas? I like the Simply Safe one. That's pretty good. Thank you, Colorado couple. I'll have to check that out. And yeah, I'll have to check out the electric fence idea. Just hopefully no people don't walk into it. That would be the only problem with that. But the security lights and security cameras is real good. Most of the campers walking through the campsite. Yeah, there are rude people out there. I complain about it every time one comes through. But what can you do? Not everybody is courteous. But I have never had a problem with anybody stealing anything. We don't open the door if an unknown person knocks. Well, yeah, you talk through the window and keep the door locked. That's a good idea. Only one time did we get a knock on the door in the middle of the night. It wasn't even a knock on the door. This was with our other trailer, so the bedroom window was not high up, and we had the windows open because it was hot out, and we were boondocking. We were actually at this was in North Carolina. There was a cafe. They said we could camp there overnight because it was part of Harvest Hosts. So we did that, except for the local police department didn't know anything about it. And a police car gets pulled up to the trailer. I'm sound asleep. All of a sudden, this bright light wakes me up in my eye. Guy was shining a flashlight through the window. Startled me. I woke up before the dog did. And, oh, hey, Blue Wave. I didn't even see that. $10. Oh, thank you, buddy. Hey, I missed it. When did that happen? Just now. Cool. Hey, let's give you a little fanfare here. Oh yeah. Oh, thank you, Blue Wave, man. It's good to see you. All right, girls, calm down. All right. Blue Wave, if you haven't seen him, you should go check him out. Hey, you're late. I gave you a shout out earlier in the beginning here. So I appreciate your support. I really, really do. So if any of you guys haven't seen Blue Wave Odyssey, go check him out. He's a pretty cool guy, and they have a nice channel. So, Blue Wave, are you still down in the Florida Keys? And let me go back up here. Yes, we don't open the door. So anyway, so the cop shined the light in the bedroom and hit me right in the eye, and I was like, oh, I was startled. I woke right up. The dog was sound asleep. So you talk about a dog being an early warning system. Thomas did not do a good job of that night. So I got up, and he identified himself as a police officer. So I did quick throw some clothes on and opened the door and came outside. I don't know, that might have been a bad thing, but that's what I did anyway. It turned out I was a cop, and talked to him about the fact that our Harvest Hosting Day participated in it, and we have permission to be there. So that is the one and only time I've ever been woken up in the middle of the night. So, but I tell you, when you got a bright light shining in your eye when you're sound asleep, was startling. So, you're back home in Naples. Wow, that was real fast. Where the heck is Naples? Thanks for the tip. Oh, yes. How'd you like that bridge? I think it was, what, 11.4 inches there in Hohenwald. It was right off that highway there. So, and a lot of the GPS, even like the Good Sam one, where it knows how tall your vehicle is, screwed up on that one. And it was like, oh crap. So just gotta watch out for those things. Southwest Florida. 4 nights in the Keys. Wow, that was nice. So it was Jolly Rancher or something like that, I think he stayed at. So that was a Passport America campground, yes. So was it nice? Well, incredibly low. Yeah. So now, if you look at the bridge, I walked under the bridge, and you can see a lot of scrape marks and chunks out of the bridge. So I know quite a few people have hit it. There was an area off to the side which was all dirt, which would give you a little extra clearance. I still wouldn't want to do that. Well, cool. And I guess that was probably, what, about 40 bucks, I think. The 40 bucks a night. There are Encore resorts down there. There's two of them in the Florida Keys, and those you would pay $20 a night for if you have the trails collection on your 1,000 trails. So, which I don't know if you got the trails collection on. You do have the 1,000 trails, right? $47 a night with the discount, huh? So it was a little bit more than what they show. So did you ever get the 1,000 trails with the Encore, or you just got the 1,000 trails? We got the whole shebang. We now have the upgraded package with the Elite Basic. So now we can go 1,000 trails, or 1,000 trails to Encore, and then back into 1,000 trails. Someone calls it the 1,000 Trails Shuffle. Pretty cool. So I haven't boondocked in a good long while now, since we got the 1,000 trails. So I think probably those people who are really kind of scared when they boondock probably shouldn't be boondocking. We should be using RV parks and just trying to do the discounts like Passport America or 1,000 Trails, or camp in places like Corps of the Army Engineers, Happy America, the Beautiful Pass. That's another discount thing that we use as well. Oh, okay. You know, we were going to go to the Keys ourselves, and I didn't make the reservation soon enough to go because family was trying to pull us off in another direction up into North Carolina. Was it North Carolina? Yeah, for that Downton Abbey museum at the Vanderbilt Castle up there. And things kind of got disjointed, and so I didn't make reservations down in the Keys. And then we decided we're not going to go up to North Carolina. I don't want to do that in December. And then it was too late to make reservations. They were all booked. December and January is probably the peak season down in the Keys. So. Boondock. Blue Wave, you haven't lived until you've done some boondocking, man. That's why we have solar, we have a generator. The longest we can boondock with this trailer is about 8 days. Yeah, I know you like your hookups. We do too. Like I say, I haven't boondocked in a good long while now, but you got to experience it at least once. Harvest Host, yeah, that's also a good one. We haven't used Harvest Host in a while, and we stayed on farms and wineries, and so that was pretty cool. And usually those places I'm not concerned about security. Those are pretty good. Yeah, I hear you, Colorado couple. A bit concerned after the Padre Island issue. We were there, like I said, in April. And real close by to that place, because they said just south of the Bob Hall Pier. So we were down by not too far from the National Seashore Park entrance. There's a 1 mile stretch of beach there that most everybody goes to camp there. But we had a number of nights where we were the only ones on the beach, and it was a little eerie, and it was like super dark because there were some storms out and going on in the Gulf, and the high tide was real high, and the ocean was basically real close to our doorstep. I was more concerned about that, but it was kind of creepy. But like I said, we've never had a problem before. But I imagine the place that they're talking about, I can't identify exactly where it was. I think the incident was a little bit north of where we stayed. Harvest Host is good, yes. Like I said, I haven't used them in a while. We used them a number of times the first year. We are in our second year with Harvest Host. I haven't used it at all, especially now that we got the 1,000 Trails deal. But we'll probably use it along the way. We also have RPI. When we upgraded to the Harvest Host, we got 1 year of RPI with Resorts International for free. And those run $10 a night, and they have a lot of campgrounds where 1,000 Trails and Encore aren't. So we're going to experience our first RPI soon. And yeah, it was very sad about the people, you know. And you know, I haven't heard too much about it. They got 2 people that were arrested, one up in Texas, I think, and the other one down in Mexico. So the guy in Mexico, they took the truck and the trailer and drove it down to Mexico. So I don't know if that was the why they did what they did, or were they singled out and followed? I have no idea. I haven't heard any more news on that. But like I said, they did catch those guys, and yes, I'm glad they caught them too. Yeah, it bothered my wife more than it bothered me when we saw that out there. In fact, first time I heard of that actually was on Camo Dave's channel. So, yes, Blue Wave, we are full time. We have been traveling full time, coming up on 2 years. We retired. One day I came home from work. I said, I quit my job. I'm done. It was about a month before I turned 62. So I would think we were planning on going anyway. So we put the house up on the market. Within a week of us listing the house, it was under contract. Sold the house, sold most of the contents. What we didn't sell, we gave away, and moved into our other travel trailer. We now have a 5th wheel. We bought a new rig in our travels. So yeah, just coming up on 2 years in January. I'm gonna have to do a special on that. IRV2 forum. I'm not familiar with them. I'll have to check it out. Full time makes 1,000 Trails it. You might not renew. Well, what are you gonna? Well, it's good for a year. So, are you just using it on vacation, or do you guys go away like on weekends and stuff? Because I've seen you've got quite a few videos out. I think that the 1,000 Trails is definitely worth it. that's why we upgraded to the elite package. So it cost a bit more money than the annual pass, but we can go park to park. I did some calculations. We originally bought the zone pass in September, and when did we upgrade? We upgraded. Well, actually, I bought it in August. We started using the campgrounds in September. I liked what I saw and upgraded while we were in Georgia. I called them up on the phone and upgraded and to the elite package. So since September 1st to now, we have been in the 1,000 Trail system 53 days. And based on $40 a night, we have saved over $2,100 in RV camping fees so far. So 53 days out of like 72 days. And we have not been outside of the 1,000 Trail system now for the last month and a half. So we're saving money like crazy by doing this. Wow, congratulations there in a weekend. Yeah, that was pretty much what ours was. I wish we, I do wish that we held out maybe one more year, because the housing prices went up even a lot more over the past year. But who knows, We also had a housing bubble that happened not too long ago where the prices rose up and then crashed. So I was starting to get a little itchy on it. Said, just put it up on the market, sell it, and we made a nice little profit on it, and that really funded almost everything for the first year. And then, so we didn't have to touch any retirement money or anything. So we got Social Security and retirement funds. Okay, you travel all the time, but you're still home in Naples. So, well, depends on how much you travel as to whether that pass is worth it. If you've got a single zone pass, that's $5 something a year plus the $214 for the Encore. So you're paying $700 a year. Just a few weeks camping, you break even at least, So that's a month's worth of camping. Boondockers welcome. I have not checked out that. It's basically camping on people's properties and stuff. Yes. So pretty cool. We hit the road full time after that. Okay. So you are about just 1 year behind us. So how you liking the RV life so far? So Blue Wave, are you retired yet, or are you going to retire soon? And then let me do this too. Let me put up we did a video on Padre Island if you guys are interested. Let me see if I can pull it up. Copy that. Now put it right in here. There you go. So that's a video on Padre Island. So it's a beautiful place. I would definitely, I wouldn't let that incident really scare you away from it. You know what? You pick a busy time where there's a lot of people there, and I think you're a lot safer. It was a little risky when we ended up being the only ones left on the beach, which I guess happens during the middle of the week, or if there's some storms coming in. The weekends are busy, so you might want to check it out on a weekend. There are campgrounds too close by, so if you don't want to be on the beach because you feel unsafe, there is 2 campgrounds nearby. If you go into the park, where you're close to the beach, but you're in designated camp spots, and there's a bunch of people there and a dump station in there. So you should still check out Padre Island. So that would be a lot safer if you, and I believe that's first come, first served. It's not reservable. So you might want to check that out. It's good. 63 still working. Well, you're the same age as me. Well, yeah, I'm going to be 64 come January. So I retired at 62, and I don't miss work at all. So you can work while traveling. What kind of work do you do? Storms coming up. What was that? Yeah. Well, here's the other great thing about RVing full time is that you travel around the country. Families tend to scatter all around the country, and we got people everywhere. So that the weekends are busy, so you might want to check. Oh wow! I'm getting feedback on this thing. That's weird. Kill that. Also, I'm hearing myself back. So, so we're seeing a lot more family than we ever did before. Kind of electrical and plumbing plans. Oh wow, cool. And you can do that on the road, huh? Wow. Well, that'd be awesome. All right, so Blue Wave, you and I are the same age, dude. Actually, you're a month younger than me. So, mind your elders. Oh, that's cool. Got your own business. So that's going to be a rough deal trying to retire, huh? What are you going to do? Sell it? Sell the business when it comes time? I owned my own business a long time ago. And I tell you, it's not easy. The business tends to run you, so you running the business. So we got Colorado couple, and it looks like you guys have been traveling for a year. All right. Well, that's nice. A father and son business. Cool deal. You don't see that too much anymore. Hey, you notice tonight's live stream is not on a Monday night. I thought about it the last time. I forgot that it was Monday Night Football. So that's why I did this on Tuesday. Oh. All right, Colorado couple. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. And thank you for your contribution of information. I'm going to check out Simply Safe idea. That's a good one. At least you can see what's going on outside of your RV. You guys take care. I think I'm going to call it. We've been going for about an hour now, so I think I'm just going to wrap it up. And thank you for coming by, Blue Wave. You certainly have helped make the conversation great. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing more of your videos. So that is it for tonight. Thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate it. And give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done it yet. So until the next time, happy camping. Bye now.